Well, welcome back to the Canadian Virtual Financial Advisors Conference. I hope you've had a good hour and a half of the event, networking. I met a few people through the networking area, the expo area, lots of great sessions and content. And we're on our last half hour, and we have our panel for the afternoon. I'm really excited to be joined by three great professionals in the industry, and I will introduce them one at a time. So first off, Mark Halpern is CEO and founder of WealthInsurance.com. Mark, thanks for being on. Maybe you can tell people watching a little bit about your company, what you do, your background.
Fantastic. Thanks, first of all, for having me here. It's great to be here. I've been 30 years in professional practice, and I work primarily with successful business owners and entrepreneurs, incorporated professionals, sports personalities, and wealthy families. And we focus in three different areas. One area we do is estate planning, just making sure that things are organized, from wills all the way through to insurance, and investments and retirement. Second area we work with is in the area of tax minimization. So we help people to keep their taxes for their family, which is always a nice thing to do, especially in this highly taxed environment. And then the last area we're involved with is in the area of philanthropy. So we help people create enduring legacies for their families, often by converting taxes into charity. So that's 30 years. My real start, though, was 47 years ago, and that's when my father of blessed memory died of a heart attack at the age of 50. I was 11, and I was the youngest of four boys. My father was a busy engineer. Unfortunately, there was no will, very little savings, and no insurance. So we sort of learned the hard way along. But as we've grown in the business, we've seen a very successful people who don't have things organized, are not current. They have a lot of incompletions, and we help them get those incompletions done.
Terrific. Well, thanks for being on. Akhil Balachandran is founder and CEO of Life Plan Investments in Markham, Ontario. Welcome, Akhil, and thanks for being on. Perhaps you could do the same. Give a profile of yourself, organization.
Pleasure is, and good to see you, Mark and Jennifer, as well. My background, I went to medical school and completely changed my career into medical to finance. When I work in Sun Life Financial as an advisor. I'm a certified financial planner, and in the management, I train, coach over 500-600 advisors. And in 2017, I started a boutique and advanced technological financial planning firm, which is in Ontario, Markham, Ontario. So we have 40 advisors and growing. We're going through the COVID pandemic like anybody else. So we built something especially internally, end-to-end solution. Solve the financial advisors issues, compliance, and data management. So because of the COVID, not blue labeling, we actually product is called Blue Mind. It's an end-to-end financial advice solution, AI, machine learning, and reinforcement learning on some of the areas of helping advisors to do better job with the clients. So that's the bluemind.app. Glad to be here with you today. Thank you.
Terrific. Thanks, Akhil. And Jennifer Schramicki is Director of Financial Planning and Client Service, Cardinal Point Capital Management, based out of New Jersey, USA. Thanks, Jennifer, for being here. And same thing, if you can give viewers an idea as to your background and what you do and your area of expertise.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to travel up to Canada, even if virtually, for a day. We at Cardinal Point specialize in cross-border financial planning and investment management for our clients. So Canadians that have moved down to the States, or Americans that move up to Canada or anywhere else in the world, but primarily between that one border, and the special nuances that ensue because of the different taxation between the different countries and the specialty in planning that's required. So we've got offices across Canada and across the United States, and staff across both countries. So that gives us the unique ability, because we live this life. We've got Americans who are married to Canadians, or folks that have moved across the border, that really need to understand that planning because it impacts them personally. So we're then capable of being able to provide those things to our clients.
Terrific. Well, thanks very much. So we got a good cross section of within the industry. So what challenges are you seeing? Maybe start it with Akhil. What challenges are you seeing within the industry right now? What is are being any hurdles that you have to overcome?
And generally, as everybody knows, the the whole insurance industry been like 100 years old. They haven't done too much on the technology. When the COVID hit, everybody started creating a 50 pages or 70 pages paper application to the electronic applications and then create an electronic signature, which helps a lot to the industry to move away from all the traditional method to get the advice, digital way of advice, getting things done. We see that the challenge part is when advice is not using proper tools. It could be BlueMind, it could be Salesforce, it could be any of the proper CRM and the tools where they don't save the data in the proper place. Their same computer they're using for the shopping in Amazon to go in different places and then using the advice for a client, they're putting a lot of cyber risk for their clients and that's their practice themselves. I think that's going into digitalization is a huge thing for companies, insurance companies and advisors. We saw that it's hard. It's not easy for anybody to just changing from face to face to all of a sudden go into digital. But we see that more and more is coming. But my main concern is about the clients, how your data is saved in the client's data are saved, how you documenting your practice, because you want to bulletproof your practice when the regulators comes after the COVID or when things are happening right now, audit comes, you want to really be careful. And one thing that we noticed before the COVID, 41% of the advisors are passing the compliance test based on FISRA. So the 59% is really failing on reason violated to disclosures and KYC, KYP areas. So that's actually a bigger concern for me, like when I see that, which need to be addressed as an industry as a whole. But other than that, I see that delivery of advice is changing from person to person. People are more open to have a Zoom calls and things, but nothing really much change in terms of the whole financial part, except I would enforce, if anybody listening today, start working on the cash flow planning and understand what the changes happen with the COVID with the people, because it's really pain to see a lot of businesses are closing and for sale and lease sign again. These things change for our clients. I think we need to really be careful on that. 1 in 4 Canadians going to change the job. I think financial industry is one of the things that is actually looking at getting more people in there in the future. So we're looking at a lot of new agents actually joining in, financial joining in the business. Come in. Thank you.
That's great. And Mark, how about with yourself? Challenges, what you've seen, changes?
Yeah, well, look at after 30 years, we've seen lots of things, but fortunately, this has been probably the best year we've ever had in 30 years. Which I'm grateful for that because I know how so many people are hurting. And the reason we see that is because for 30 years, I've been trying to convince people they're going to die or get sick one day, and nobody believed me. And suddenly we have a global plague, and people are much more aware of their mortality, and they're also much more aware of their incompletions. They don't have wills in place, powers of attorney, etc. And if they're charitable, they haven't created a legacy. They may have been giving donations, but they actually haven't gone from success to significance. The good news is the insurance companies have provided us with a big benefit in that they've relaxed all the underwriting because nurses can't go out to see clients to take blood and urine and all of that. So we're able to get insurance for people up to $3 million right now with no medical, about a 15-minute phone call, and all from the convenience of your own home, right? So you don't have to have so what that's done is it's opened up an entirely big sort of growth spurt for people who've always wanted insurance but just never wanted to apply or have to go through the mandatory underwriting requirements. So as a result, people are doing it to top up for themselves or doing it for tax planning. And that's the other part that I just want to add. The government's been printing money, and we just know that it's only a matter of time where the piper's got to be paid. And we know taxes are going to go up: income tax, wealth tax, inheritance tax, tax on principal residences. So we don't have a lot of sort of shelters left in Canada other than your principal residence or the TFSA or winning the lottery. Life insurance is one of those tax exempt solutions that people need to look at. And it's not, a grudge purchase like their car insurance or their house insurance. people with money who are, successful people are using it as a tool to preserve their estates or their businesses, or pass along money in a more tax effective way to the next generation. So I think the challenge is always getting people's attention, Mark. We live in people don't like to think about death or dying, and, they want to go on a vacation or go to the store and buy stuff. It's really getting people's attention and having a trusted address to have that discussion with.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Great perspective. Jennifer, what's the different mindset between a Canadian client and a US client and vice versa? What are you seeing? Because there's such differences going on with COVID and the feeling.
I'll say, across both sides of the border, one really great thing that's happened is we can connect with our clients a lot easier since we've taken everything online. So in the past, we were a virtual company. We do have physical offices, but there wasn't the mindset of an American maybe to meet virtually was a little bit greater than on the Canadian side. Now it doesn't really matter where you are. People are used to being able to either pick up the phone or join us on Teams or on Zoom to be able to do that. Or if we have a webinar, to be able to join in to get that information. So that's one big positive either side. But the other couple of things that people are concerned about in the US, the markets tend to grow a little bit faster than they do in Canada. And where you've got assets on both sides of the border because you've moved, you've got them invested in two different, we do diversify, but in two different markets sometimes, two different styles of investing depending on your needs and where you're resident. So trying to explain to those clients the nuances of where you're now living and the tax impact of that. And, to speak to some of the other things that the other members of this panel have said, where that money is going to end up and the uses for it in the long term, what the implications are of that too. So, your mindset of an American might have more political involvement than a Canadian might have. The Canadian might be more concerned about a currency impact. Those are some of the things that we're seeing.
I could just tell you, Jennifer, on the work that you do, it's very important because we're involved with a lot of sort of what we call mixed marriages, where, it's a Canadian and American, or kids are American, some are not, etc. And I think this is not something that people like to talk about or know enough about. And unfortunately, they could be in for a very big surprise. So clearly the time to look at that is while the sun is shining. So it's good to hear that you're an actual resource that we could be using here on this side of the border and on the other side of the border. So we'll have to connect.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, we really appreciate it when people connect well before they're moving, or when an issue first comes up, as opposed to, oh, hi, I moved last week. Then we're trying to pick up the pieces on the back end.
Right.
Excellent. Well, thanks for sharing, Jennifer. Akil, your firm has been growing. You've been adding advisors as well. Yeah. What for other advisors that might be looking to grow their businesses, and by doing that by hiring more people, what have you found that's worked for you in the sense of some tips, not where to search for them, but some tips as to what makes a successful financial advisor for you, what you might look for when you're interviewing somebody?
I mean, before in Lifetime Investment 3 years, and I've been working as in the coaching and recruiting manager in Sun Life. So I think one of the things that we're really looking for, somebody believe in the system. As Mark said, people are going to die and they don't believe in insurance. They think, okay, it's lucrative money or business, they come in. I don't think they will be succeed in the industry. So we're really looking for the real belief and real passionate about being in the industry and want to help people and want to take advantage. So we will ask behavioral questions to understand what's the true motivation, why they are in the business or why they need to be in the business. So I think when we find that the right fit, we could have been grown to 200, 300, in the last 3 years. We really wanted to add one piece at a time because we want to make sure that the person in the industry need to be trained properly, onboarded properly, because I always go back to my medical field. Say if I'm a gynecologist or working with the mom, it's not only affecting the one person, it's a baby, two lives are there. This financial industry, it's not affecting. When we do the proper planning, it's not only the one person, it's a more generation to come. I think Mark doing a lot of philanthropy planning, and when you're looking at giving to the next generation is very important. So you need to find the right people. I think that's what I always believe in find the right people, all the ways to make sure that give the opportunity for them, and then coach and train and onboard them properly so then they can deliver the advice to the clients in a proper way. I think that's what I truly believe, that we trained our people as well. We're developing that culture, bringing the right people and helping them to grow in the career for the lifetime career.
Great. If you're watching the Canadian Virtual Financial Advisors Conference, the panel is Mark Halpern, CEO and founder of WealthInsurance.com. Also joined by Akhil Balachandran, founder and CEO of Life Plan Investments, and Jennifer Schramicki is Director of Financial Planning and Client Service, Cardinal Point Capital Management, based in New Jersey. My name is Mark Belash. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. So Mark, what have you learned about yourself in the last year? You've been in the business for a long time.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I love what Akhil said. There's never been a better time to sort of be an advisor. I think that, people are sort of going to the internet to find sort of like the latest planning software. First of all, I love what Akhil said. I hear myself. Never been a better time. That person has to put it on an advisor. I think that people are sort of going to the internet to find. Mark, do you hear? Thank you. Okay, great. Sorry about that. No problem. Yeah. So I think that there's never been a better time. I look at the average age of an advisor in Canada is 58. I'm 59, so that means I'm older than the average advisor, and there really is there really needs to be a mentoring, like, to help people to be successful in this business. I mentor a lot of advisors, and I tell them it's very easy to be successful in this business. Buy a big house with a huge mortgage and have 5 kids in private school like I do. You'll do very well, because you have no choice. You got to get up and so to be successful is you have to be hungry, right? And you have to want to serve people as opposed to serve yourself. You have to be a problem solver as opposed to a product pusher. You've got to be somebody who is social, and if you can take advantage today of social media, like we do a ton of work through LinkedIn. Like we're like in the top 1%. Most of our posts are seen by up to 30,000 people, and we get lots of people liking them. And I write for a publication called The Tax Letter, and I advertise on the radio on 2 stations every day, and we do a lot. But people need our services, and they don't have a place to get it. Just so you know, you think that really wealthy people, they probably have the best, best accountant and the best lawyer and the best banker and the best insurance person. I'm telling you, 80% of the time, it's not true. They might have very good people, but those people are generally very reactive as opposed to proactive. And they need somebody to look at things from 30,000 feet. And you want to be part of that team to bring your vision to help those people. And it's very basic stuff. So I get very excited by taking somebody who's very successful, helping them see what they should be having trouble sleeping at night if they knew that they didn't complete, get done, and really protect families and create legacies for them. It's a very rewarding career. So the nice part is that there are great people out there, mentors who can help you, and we're building out our team, and we're doing a lot of training and mentoring as well. So if anybody is interested, please reach out, send an email to mark@WealthInsurance.com. We'll either connect you with somebody like Akhil or anybody else, but it's all about getting the wisdom and knowledge to become a professional, not a salesperson.
Great. Thanks very much. Lisa Ramsey is joining us. Lisa is Senior Partner, Estate and Succession Planner and Wealth Specialist at Trayline Financial. Trayline Financial. Welcome, Lisa, and thanks for being on. Thanks for, I know we got some technical things in the behind the scenes here, but if you want to introduce yourself a little bit and talk a little bit about your background for those that are just watching.
Well, hi, Mark. Hi, everyone. Sorry about the lateness, the tardiness. It's not normal, but I've been an advisor since the beginning of the millennium. I know that sounds old. And I've been in finance since the mid to late 80s. So I started out in accounting, ran payables and receivables little business, and moved through that and worked with the government, worked in the banks. And as an independent advisor now, I have a boutique practice with 5 other agents. So we're slowly growing, and nationally we're across Western Canada and into Ontario. So yeah, COVID has presented a bunch of challenges, and you guys all hit it right on the head, right? I mean, we're all struggling to make those connections with our clients, to keep that face-to-face intimacy through the video conferencing, and missing some of that real one-on-one that we would do with our clients, and then having to become techno whizzes all at once. As today proved, it's not always, workable at the time we want it to be. So you're right, finding things and getting things done and being there for our clients the way we used to be just doesn't happen. And tech is great, but I think we've lost something, even though they've relaxed restrictions on our underwriting, even though they've allowed us to do things on e-file and stuff like that. I think we've lost something, because when we do our e-file apps, we lose the ability to understand their medical position and really be able to argue on behalf of our clients. So we miss some of those pieces. So yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So thanks for sharing, Lisa. So open to anybody on the panel, and that is, it's been mentioned a couple of times, technology, social media. I mean, people are using Zoom, Teams, obviously conference platforms like what we're using. But is there anything earth-shattering that you want to add in terms of technology that's helped you, that you don't mind sharing with other financial advisors, people within the industry? Really open to anybody. Anything that you want to share?
I'll just jump in just on our, because I really feel that at least on our platform, LinkedIn seems to be an excellent platform for us. And we actually have, sort of a full-time staff member that reaches out to about 20 new people every day, because we want to sort of keep below the radar and not get bounced off of LinkedIn. So we'll look for people that are target market, so people who are business owners or professionals or philanthropic, and we connect with them. We then send out a template, let's say up to 4 templates that are personal, but, informative, but not too salesy, to move the conversation along to ultimately get to a point where we have some sort of a meeting that we could set up. And then we also look at posting. So we'll put out 2 to 3 posts a week. And anybody who likes our posts, we connect with them, or we look at our own clients who we're very close with, and we'll go through their LinkedIn lists and say, here, these are 25 people we want to meet. So we'll go to the client and say, here's a list of 25 people you're connected to that we'd like to meet. Which ones should we not connect with? Notice I say, which ones should we not connect with, as opposed to which ones can we connect with? And it's really an amazing platform to actually pinpoint people you'd like to meet and develop a conversation with them. So we've been really very pleased with LinkedIn as a platform.
Terrific. Anyone else? Is anything interesting?
I'll speak up. I'll just say one thing we've found very helpful is actually asking the client how they want to meet. Because at the end of the day, especially now, we might prefer to jump on a Teams call or use Zoom. The clients might be zoomed out. They might be tired of the video conference with their kid all day. So asking the client what their preference is has actually boosted the morale of the client, helped them to connect better with us. Because we're opening the forum to them. We're showing that we care about what their needs are too.
Great. Biggest challenge of anybody? Akil, what's your biggest challenge right now?
I mean, the challenge is finding the right people always to grow with the organization, right mentality people, right talents in the both side of the company that I'm working on, the technology side or the financial planning side. We're really looking for the right people to work with, who coachable, want to look for the next stage of the game. We haven't find the right people is always challenging to get that. Other than that, I think the clients' situations are changing. That's something that we need to work on with them. I want to answer quickly on the question that you asked before. Working on the project management tool, like we use Asana is one of the tools that we use in the premium version to manage the teams, manage the process, some of the platform. And also we found, as Jennifer said, we asked the client how they want to be booked meetings. We do a lot of screen sharing, either Zoom or Google Meet. So we have both platforms we work in. So we want to share the screen of illustrations and show them what exactly we do. We tell them in upfront, don't have to come in camera, so then it's okay. But at least you see what we do, which is helpful a lot for us to show them in a transparent way. And beyond that, our Blue Mind CRM actually helping a lot. Data management, not losing the leads and managing the clients in an efficient way. Thanks, Mark.
Excellent.
We've also been sending out our surveys in advance and having them answer them. And same with our plans. When we put the plans together for the client, we've been emailing them out so they have a chance to look at them and have questions for us, as opposed to face-to-face when we used to meet, we'd bring it with us. So this way they've had a chance to look at it and really have that question prepared for us. So we've been utilizing email a little bit more for our clients for stuff like that.
Excellent. Anything to add?
I don't know if you were asking, Jen. I was just going to say that the good news about Zoom is, we were using Zoom before, we were using GoToMeeting, but this is the future. Like, it's just not going to change. Yeah. So the great part about that is we can all be in Florida for 3 months every winter on the beach having meetings and still making a living. How great is that? That's nice. But the other part,
retire though.
Yeah, retirement is not in the cards. Okay, retirement is an easy way to sort of see your life go down. Anyway, that's a philosophical discussion. But I'll suggest that the part of Zoom the whole Zoom thing that I don't like is having a work-life balance. Like, it used to be that you had time in between meetings to get into a car and drive to see somebody. And yesterday I had a meeting with a very successful corporate real estate owner. It was my first in-person meeting in a year. And again, it's just a whole psychological. It was nice to get in the car. Yeah, I had to find a parking spot, pay for parking, all those things we haven't done forever. But there was a time that there was a balance in between meetings. Now it's like your foot's pedal to the metal all the time. Next meeting. So I find that that's a challenge, and just keeping up. Thank God with the action. It's very busy, and just trying to, it's a heavy time. COVID's a heavy time, not just business wise, but in the worldwide as well. And we definitely need to get some escape. We need a little bit more. It'd be nice to escape and sort of just get out a bit more. That's for sure.
Right. Excellent. Akil, real quick, we just have a couple minutes left.
I know. Yeah. I just want to share the messages based on some of the LIMRA statistics. I think under 35 years old, next 6 to 9 months, the 4 million of Canadians under 35 years old looking to buy insurance. I think that's a huge trend. I'm going to see that with the new babies coming on, with the COVID babies and the things what happened, pandemic teacher lessons. There's a whole dynamic of millennials financial and insurance need is going to be changing. It's a great opportunity for the advisors to look at that opportunity. Yeah.
Speaking of that, you're going to see long-term care now for the 55 and over. People are now realizing how important that is too in your markets. When you're looking at that, that's become for us quite a focus, because we've had quite the realization that, if I get sick, what happens? Who's going to look after me? How am I going to pay for this? I don't want to disrupt my lifestyle. How's that possible to do and not deplete my savings? So long-term care has really become a big part of what we talk about now with our clients and new clients.
Yeah. Terrific. Well, thank you to the four of you for sharing such great thoughts and perspectives on what's happening in the industry and what is going on, the changes and so on. I want to thank everybody for being here at the Canadian Virtual Financial Advisors Conference. Today's event presented by TorontoJobs.ca and TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca and powered by Event Logic with a K.ca. My name is Mark Belage, president of TorontoJobs.ca. The panel, Mark Halpern, CEO and founder of WealthInsurance.com. Akil Balachandran is founder and CEO of Life Plan Investments. Lisa Ramsey, senior partner, estate and succession planner and wealth specialist at Trail Lane Financial, and Jennifer Schramicki is director of financial planning and client service at Cardinal Point Capital Management. How did you like the event? Let us know. We'll send you a survey in the next 24 hours or so to complete after the event. You can tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, so that way we can do better for the next time. I want to thank all the speakers and the team, Alex, Rachel, Anne, Sandra, Sarah, Carla, a lot of people behind the scenes helping out to put this together. TorontoJobs.ca. If you have any staffing needs, you can reach us by emailing sales@TorontoJobs.ca. TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. If you're an entrepreneur or business owner, you want to come out to one of our upcoming virtual events. EventLogic.ca. If you'd like to sponsor, exhibit at, or speak at an upcoming event, visit the website. Again, EventLogic.ca. They have a great team to put everything together. With upcoming events, there's lots of great ones coming up. I'm just going to copy them into the event area, into the chat. So there's the link for upcoming events. Tomorrow we have the Canadian Virtual Sales Management Conference that happens from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The Canadian Virtual Immigrants Conference happens this Thursday, May 6th from 2 to 4 also. And then the Canadian Virtual CFO Conference happens next Tuesday, May 11th as well. And you can stay connected with all of TorontoJobs.ca at the link that I'm providing, which is our link tree. And again, if you want any information about exhibiting or sponsoring, you can visit EventLogic.ca, and the chat will have that information. And if you are a financial advisor looking for another opportunity, feel free to reach out to me. We have a large financial services organization that is looking to grow. You can work anywhere in the greater Toronto area as well. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have lots of great videos as well on a lot of different topics. And you can also connect with me on LinkedIn as well. So thanks very much again to the four of you. We do tack on an extra 10 minutes to the event for people to get into the expo. If you haven't checked it out already, there's still some time for the networking area too. And look forward to connecting with you at our next event. And thanks again to the four of you for being on here, and have a great day. And of course, everyone stay safe.
Thank you so much, Mark. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.